area of logistics that we've been talking.
First and foremost, you have to know what you stand for.
Hello, today I'm speaking with John Gordon, author of The Energy Bus and a well-known speaker. Welcome, John.
It's great to be with you.
So I know you talk to a lot of business leaders. What do you see as the biggest challenges for business leadership today?
Well, there's a lot of challenges, but I would argue the busyness and stress that leaders are facing, the way the world is moving, the change that is happening. How do we stay positive through the change? How do we stay calm and focused through all the busyness and stress to lead in a more effective way? Because the busyness and stress causes us to lead out of fear and out of survival rather than in a positive way that helps organizations thrive. So we have to recognize that that busyness, that stress is impacting us as leaders so we can be more clear on our vision, more focused on our purpose, and more passionate about people and the process that leads to great results.
Most leaders would probably tell you they don't have time to take time off. What kind of strategies do you recommend to them to deal with that stress?
Well, the key is short breaks. Short breaks to recharge. Work-life balance is a myth. Instead, what I believe leaders need to find rhythm. A rhythm through your work where you go, and you recharge. You go, and you recharge. Create balance in your year. Look at your year as a whole and say, okay, where am I going to be really busy? Where am I going to have time to rest and slow down? Where do I have time to engage with my significant other and my family? And so what we do is we focus on this balance throughout the year, and then we create a more engaged life at work and a more engaged life at home. And when you're engaged at work and engaged at home, you're gonna be more productive and more successful. So this mindset is, I gotta in each day find the balance, that's not gonna happen. So let's recharge periodically with a rhythm.
Do you think that leaders who are able to do that naturally let that trickle down to their employees?
Oh, definitely. I think a more positive leader creates a more positive organization and team. A leader who knows the importance of rest and recharging is going to allow their organization to rest and recharge. So when you become a more productive leader, you help create a more productive team. And you have to know what drives people. And you know what? As human beings, we all need to take time to recharge and to refocus and to re-energize. Energy is our biggest currency in today's world. We need to have the currency of energy to be able to be more productive. Get more work done in less time. Work smarter. Work more productive. Work with a team. Believe it or not, when you take a little time to rest each day, you actually are more productive. If you work on a project too long and too straight of a time, and you don't rest, you're actually going to be ineffective with that project. You take time, even 1 minute break, and you come back to it, you'll be more productive.
In this area of logistics that we've been talking about today, speed is such a critical factor, and everything seems to be speeding up, not only physically moving products faster, but the speed of information and the amount of information that you're being bombarded with. Do you have any strategies for handling that?
Well, first and foremost, you have to know what you stand for as a leader and what your organization stands for. Once you know what you stand for, every decision you make is easy. So even though things are going crazy around you, even though things are busier and more stressed than ever, what are the core values that guide me as a leader and that guide my team and organization? If you know your core values, you know what you stand for, you know your belief, you know your mission, you won't stray from that. You won't allow distractions to get in the way. Distractions are the enemy of greatness. So we need clarity, we need vision, we need focus, we need purpose, and we need to know what our culture stands for. And then everything we do should be aligned with that. And then it's amazing how much more successful you'll be and how much more powerful you'll be in getting results when you know those things and you act on those things. A mission statement is pointless unless you have people who are on a mission. And I often say it doesn't matter what core values you have on the wall unless you live and breathe them each day. So know what you stand for and then live them. That's the key to busyness and stress.
You know, it's interesting to me that we have so many people out there talking about these issues of leadership, but we continually see companies like what we've just seen with General Motors and the big cover-up that they did, companies constantly going off track. What is behind that? What is the core reason for that, do you think?
It's human nature. humans aren't perfect. We all have flaws. We all have issues. We all make mistakes. And at the cultural level, we haven't said, this is how we do things, and these are going to be a problem, and this is how we're going to deal with that problem or problems that we're facing. So it's really at the cultural level that decides, okay, what do we stand for? Then how are we going to live what we stand for? What are we going to do about it each day? And what are the principles that guide us? So General Motors, for example, if they would have had a clear reporting process in place, then that wouldn't have been an issue. If they said, this is what matters most, safety is paramount, then we're going to make sure that we have safety in every aspect, including the reporting structure, that wouldn't have happened. So companies, get off track. I mean, Enron had one of the greatest mission statements on the face of this earth if you actually look at their mission statement. It was like, we do everything with integrity. Well, Enron didn't do things with integrity. So we know that human nature, and as human beings, we are flawed, but I do believe in the goodness of people. And I think whenever we have mistakes and we have failure, we always have people that seem to bounce back, learn from that, and other organizations and leaders can learn from the mistakes of the past so that they can better lead their organizations to the future. So failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to improve ultimately. So it's how we look at it.
We hear a lot about the difference between generations and the Generation Xers that are coming up. I wonder how you think the new generation is going to impact organizations and what kind of leaders they're going to be.
Yeah, well, I think millennials and the next generation are great for leaders and companies. Why? Because they want a relationship with their manager. They want a relationship with their boss. They want a company that has a purpose. They want to know the work they're doing actually makes a difference. No longer are they going to be part of a company that says, this is what you do, and just do it, and don't ask questions. The old dictator model of a leader doesn't work anymore. So I believe the millennials are going to make leaders become better leaders. They're going to have to work on creating relationships with these millennials and their team. They're going to have to let their team know they care about them. They're going to have to communicate better. They're going to have to articulate their purpose and their mission and their vision better. And as they do that, they're going to become better leaders and they create better organizations. So people think, all these millennials, you know what? They're going to make us better leaders. I work with a lot of NBA and NFL and college sports teams, and I see these young people coming up. These coaches are having to connect more with their players to help lead them. It's going to be the same way in the business world. And those who don't won't be successful. So I actually see it as a good thing, and I see it as a way to make us better leaders.
Interesting. I wonder about the attention span of the new generation. I mean, we do hear a lot, and you see it every day.
Yeah.
People who are on different screens, and you have to get them within the first 3 seconds, or they're gone. What impact will that have?
Well, we have more ways to communicate and connect, but we're connecting less in individuals. So we got to unplug, and we have to plug in to relationships. So I think more than ever, it's going to have an impact of saying, you know what, we realize that this is causing us not to communicate as well as we need to on a one-on-one level and a relationship level. It's because it's going to have to make us have a more focus on better relationships. It's like my own kids. My daughter's 15. She's part of that connected world. Well, guess what? She doesn't get her phone after a certain time. Do your homework, and then you get to use your phone. When we talk, we have a family meeting at the table, which I do, put away the phone. We talk. And so it's how we deal with technology and how we address it is really going to be the key issue. I tell sports teams, when you go on the road trips, put the phones away and connect with each other on the bus and on the plane and make sure you're spending time. But we're just as guilty, right? We now have parents, we have 40, 50, 60-year-olds who are like this on their phone just like kids, right? Walk by someone in the store and they're like this and no one's looking at each other. We're going to have neck issues from looking down so much. And so I really believe that ultimately it's not going to be a bad thing. We just have to learn how to deal with this new reality. Because this is new. I mean, human beings, we didn't have this 10 years ago. This is so new for us, and we're just going to have to learn how to deal with it. But the attention span is going lower, which means you have to say something a little bit more impactful, with more meaning and more purpose to get people's attention. If you're saying something mediocre, if you're saying something that has no power to it, that isn't interesting, well, guess what? You're going to be tuned out. So be engaging. Be focused. I speak to a lot of young college athletes, spoke for an hour and a half, and you know what? Didn't lose their attention. Why? Because I was saying things that mattered to them. Right. Find out what matters to them, and you'll have their attention.
Great insights. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
I've been speaking with speaker and author John Gordon. Thank you for watching.